All members are present. Just state your name.
Steve Buckholm.
Tim DeSorsi.
Paul Mallard.
Scott Keller, Alderman.
Grab Alderman. Dag Kuderjak, Alderman.
Tom Muriel, Alderman.
John Urban, HR.
Jay Catno, Alderman.
Choser Flow, President.
Jim Laser, Alderman.
Sushil.
Zach Roy, Mayor.
Agenda item number 2 is update on Munis software implementation project.
All right, so I would just like to summarize the email that I sent, and hopefully all of you have had an opportunity to do that. But basically, we started this project at the very end of August. We are in phase 1, which is the financials. So it's everything from accounts receivable and payables to cash management to budget to ledgers, basically that whole financial gamut. So the go live date for that, our target date is July 1st. The project team consists of myself, Tim DeSorsi, Cindy Schlichting, Aaron Gabrielson, and Morgan Tauschik, our HR generalist. And the team spends approximately 48 hours in project sessions. So Munis comes on site from Kansas or St. Louis or wherever that representative happens to be from. And it's generally 2 or 3 days in a row of training, sessions, items that we need to work on to get the financials module up and running. So, currently we're working on that financial module. Everything is built off the chart of accounts, which now we have submitted that, and we are waiting for Munis to look at that, approve it, make sure that everything is in order, make sure that their system Tyler's system will accommodate that. And we will be changing somewhat in late January. We're going to simultaneously start that second module, which is HR and payroll. So we're going to be working on 2 modules simultaneously at one time. This will be the module for HR and payroll. That payroll will be very involved. Obviously, it will involve everyone in the city using that as its primary source for payroll for time and attendance. It will allow us many efficiencies. It will allow us to run reports, time and attendance reports, overtime reports. So we're very interested in that and its capabilities. That our target date is for September 1st. The other 2 phases, the last 2 phases are asset management and inventory, and those have target dates of 2020. I do have a summary of year-to-date finances, and this is at the bottom of the page of my email. And basically, we are on budget. We are not over budget at this point. I do want to clarify those travel expenses of $21,000. We need to back off approximately $12,000 of that was actually implementation costs. So if you're looking at that and saying, geez, we spent $21,000 and the budget amount is $39,000, we're almost there. I thought I should, clarify that. No, in fact, I looked at the billing statements and didn't realize they had to be split out. So we are on budget. We're fine with the travel budget. We're not close to exceeding that budget. So at this time, we are doing very well for budgets. Our goal is to stay on task and bring this in on scope and on time. The first set of training will take place in May. Will be basically department heads and managers, because that's going to be the budget and the purchasing modules that we'll be looking at that time. So our hope, and I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do this, is that we would be able to budget next year using this instead of, right now Tim has a very nice, very detailed master spreadsheet that we're using. However, this will allow us to go in, have it online, and actually the manager themselves can then run reports and see where we're sitting on a monthly basis, or however often we want to, actuals to what we budgeted. Or it will allow us to say, geez, I have extra money in here, I'm getting close on this other line item, maybe I should talk with Tim and maybe we should, switch those line items so we can accomplish that. So that's the budgeting module, and that training will start in May, and that target date then is July 1st for the entire financial modules. And I guess I want to just, reiterate, there's going to be a few bumps, a few hiccups along the way, and that's very typical with any software implementation that we do. Our goal is to minimize those, of course, and to meet all of our deadlines. But I guess I wanna open it up to see if there's any questions on the project or any other questions.
I guess I asked for this just because more so it's about $250,000 software package and it was all kind of done before like Jake and I were around. So I realize it's been an undertaking long in the process of the making. I guess my question is this, because we keep talking modules, so is this a financial software with modules, or is this I can buy budget, I can buy payroll, I can buy just HR, or is it, I'm just confused on.
So this is a comprehensive resource planning tool.
Okay.
So there are many modules that you can buy. There's modules that we could purchase in the future if we get going and say, geez, we really need this or that, we could purchase that. But it's not only financials and it's not only HR.
Okay.
It's very comprehensive.
Because I know with previous softwares, we would have the base software, with DevNet or whatever. The base software was one, and then you could do add-ons, and I didn't, just with module, I didn't know if the base software on this is finance, and then whatever else we want to add to it, or that's why I was just.
Yeah, I mean, the financial part is it's all modules, you know, but there's two main portions to it. There's the financial, the accounting system, as we call it, and then there's the human resources, you know, managing the human resources function. And so within there, they have all different modules as to what you want. You know, obviously general ledger is the one you want. In general ledgers, you can purchase accounts payable, you can purchase accounts receivable, contract management. So there's all different types of modules. And then there's stuff that's outside the financial HR that, I mean, there's permitting, they have modules for permitting and things like that. So
So it's
a pretty comprehensive menu of different modules that you can purchase. The main function here is to replace our existing accounting system, implement a new HR management system, and then once we get that up, you know, then down the road we can assess if there's other modules that are value added that we could add on at a future date. So.
And I think that we want to really, you know, have that for 6 months, see how it works, know that we're happy with the company, know we're happy with the product, know that we don't have long periods of rundowns or blackouts. And then, then maybe look and say, well, geez, we could really use contract management. Why don't we look at that and get a quote for that?
I didn't realize it was so a la carte.
Yeah.
And expensive.
Anything to get rid of green sheets, though.
Purple, there's purple ones.
Oh, there's purple ones too.
And white ones.
There's purples and whites. I was just kind of curious for an update, and because I know it was very expensive, and I didn't understand how, you know, how the software was set up and those kind of things.
Okay, anyone else? Agenda item number 3, review and consider for approval a request to replace the 21-year-old two-arm car lift at the city garage.
Okay, so I misspoke in my referral, trying to get this to you guys in time and stuff, but our existing lift is 21 years old, and it was on the on our list last year to replace in 2018, but because of other priorities, we chose not to replace it, and so logically what happens, right? First week of December, the lift failed that has a hydraulic cylinder that costs about 50% of what its value is to replace it, and it doesn't currently meet our needs. Right now, the mechanics will only put the police cars on the lift because it's right at the rating for our pickup trucks, and it's not safe to put our 1-tons on it. So the staff looked into different manufacturers. As anything, there's probably 15 or 20 different manufacturers out there that make these mechanical lifts. They also looked at the 4-post option because the 4-post option is a drive-on, and that's where in my referral I misspoke because that's where I thought we were going with this, was a drive-on. And what we would like to do instead of the drive-on is to simply get a 20,000 pound 2-post lift, which then has the 2 arms that on each side that comes out for that. Reason being is that the drive-on hoist is typically just good enough to change oils and fluids and things like that, where if all of a sudden you're in the middle of changing fluids and you realize you gotta do brakes, then you gotta take it off the lift and put it on a different lift because you gotta take the tires off, and it's difficult to do that on a 2-post lift. By going to this, our current lift is about an 8,000 pound lift. Like I said, it's 21 years old, so it's tired. It won't, like I said, my previous vehicle was a 2-wheel drive pickup truck that we would put 300 pounds of sand in the back so I would have traction in the winter, and it would no longer lift that vehicle. So what we're recommending of doing is going to a 20,000 pound lift, which will allow us to safely lift all of everything that we currently have in the fleet, being our 1-ton pickup, or from our 1-ton pickups down. You know, wastewater treatment plant has also just purchased 2 Ford Transit vans that are, you know, heavier than the 12,000 pound pickup truck. We also went through and looked at the fire department's ambulances. 2 or 3 of them are right around the 13,000 pounds. And the newest one that they just purchased is about 15,000 pounds. So who knows what the future is going to bring. Obviously, we're making this purchase as a long-time purchase. You know, we don't run it for 10 years and get rid of them, as the last one was 20 years. The other error that I made in the referral is that the proposal that we got was prior to Christmas. And I did not see that there was a price increase after the first of the year. So instead of the purchase price being $17,085, it's $18,826, virtually a 10% increase after the first of the year. As you can see in the referral, you know, we're requesting that we can temporarily purchase this out of the equipment replacement fund, and then believe that we have funds available in our current budget from 2018 that we could use. Tim could do in the transfer resolution to pay for this.
Okay.
We have to make sure we save money for the fire department, the body cameras though.
And more money for fireworks now.
I'll make a motion then to approve the purchase with the corrections that Paul stated.
I'll second it.
Motion is second to approve. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Agenda item number 4, review and consider for approval a contract with Pyrotechnic Display Incorporated for the city's 2019 fireworks display.
Right, so this is the same vendor that we've been with actually since 2011. I didn't think it had been that long. And the cost had not gone up in, I don't think in 6 or 7 years probably. We had always had a $17,000 display. However, I think probably the tariffs and such of China is changing that market quite a bit. So that the same 22-minute musical pyro display that we've had in future years would now be $20,000. Generally, this is paid for out of, the city has a share, which I believe it's budgeted at $4,000 for this year. The rest comes from other municipalities, corporate donors, and then there's some fundraising for that. And I'm not sure if there was some left over from last year. There may have been a couple $1,000s that's carried over from last year. So the city does not pay the $20,000. You've committed to a certain amount, and then the rest comes from other sources. We'd also recommend that, since it's been so long with this one vendor, that we solicit proposals beginning in 2020 and start doing that right after this summer. The plan was to do it for this year, and we had met in the fall, and the next thing you know, it was Christmas, and these people need to know a good 8 or 9 months ahead of time. So we'll get to that this summer. to get some RFPs out to look at other vendors and give other vendors, maybe some closer local vendors, an opportunity to bid on the display.
I'll make a motion that we approve. Talk about an event that brings a lot of people to our downtown is our fireworks display. So for the cost, the reward is way beyond. So I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second that, and I would agree. I mean, this is definitely one of the main attractions to bring people to Rapids in the summer, and it's something I think as a city residents, and I mean, even us should be proud of, as we're pulling people from all around central Wisconsin, so.
The alternative was to shorten the show for the same price, so I think we all agree
Yeah.
that we really don't
Yeah.
want to do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Some people think it's
Yeah.
too short already, and I
Right,
think
right.
it's the wise decision.
When I was at the clerk's office, see if we even get calls from people from Wausau wanting to come down to see this event. So it's huge.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I'm
Opposed?
sorry.
It's okay. Motion carries 3-0. Item number 5 is review and consider for approval an application for a temporary Class B retailer's license from the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce Incorporated for a business after-hours event to be held on January 14th, 2019 at the Sleep Inn located at 4221 8th Street South, Wisconsin Rapids.
Obviously, this is their first one, right?
They're having a grand opening.
They get 2 a year or something like that?
Well, no, they're not asking for wine. This is just, you can only have 2 wine, yeah.
Wine, yeah.
No, they can have unlimited, beer,
That's
right.
And 2 on. I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor? Aye.
I'm sorry, aye.
Opposed?
Voting area.
Motion carries 3-0. Item number 6 is audit of the bills for December 2018.
We better take our time because we can't start public works in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Trying to make up some lost time there for you.
When's the last time this happened?
I know, trying to make up some lost hours.
Any questions on the bills? Steve, Scott, I'm sorry.
I had a question. We wrote some checks to United Way. I wonder, what's the purpose for that?
Well, they have a payroll deduction, and so we accumulate those, and then we pull them from the checks, and then we cut a check to United Way for those donations by the employees.
And then I noticed that Quick Trip, we wrote a check for 22,000. Do we, I mean, don't.
That was voided. There was an error,
Oh,
so that check was voided.
so we don't purchase anything from Quick Trip?
No.
Okay. Because I was surprised by that. Thanks.
A lot of coffee.
Well, with that, I'll make a motion to approve the audit of the bills.
I think we have to read the check numbers. Sure.
You can have it.
Yep, I got them right here. I'll make a motion to approve audit of the bills, check number 74751 through 75300. And manual check number 99823 through 99840.
I'll second that. You want a few minutes, Shane?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Motion and second to approve the bills. Any further discussion?
Remember to vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Item number 7, beverage operators licenses.
Do we have any?
Yeah, I didn't see.
Coverage operator licenses.
Bartender?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
We've got time.
Should we just set our next meeting date while we're waiting? Sure. Agenda item number 8. First Tuesday is the 5th. 5th at 5? Works for me. Okay. Oh, see, I would have forgot. Also, can we schedule a special finance property committee meeting for just prior to council? Maybe 5:30 next Tuesday. Paul has an item he wants on there. Can anyone not make it?
I will not be able to make it. I won't be at the common council meeting either. This will be the week I'm out of town for work, so I'm happy to. I'll get in touch with you and have someone else serve my spot here.
Okay,
I can do it if you want.
Yeah, we'll make that work.
okay. 5:30 works for you?
Sure.
Next week?
Make that.
You'll make it work. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I am actually.
Oh yeah, that's all those, all these checks for refunds.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again.
Oh,
It's just lots of refunds.
Friday, yeah.
Oh, not on.
Maybe a Friday.
Back to Friday, I think at one.
Is that what they're gonna do?
Friday at one, HR?
Yes.
The first or the eighth?
The first.
Good, you can bring treats. Cupcakes.
37.
Just a pup puppy.
Yeah. Feels older.
You're looking at.
Thank you.
He's just tired.
It's the job.
Maybe.
Good job.
Waking up now though. This is gonna be my time here.
Not too many in there.
Should we pull that one?
Probably. Yeah, of course, it's all his employees too. For this part. It's coming along, it looks good.
Special
Yep.
Yep,
Yep, we got.
Yep, that was already, this is the one at,
Sleeping.
yeah, yep,
And that one we've already gone over?
yep.
Okay, okay, good. Yep, that's what I thought, just wanted to make sure, okay.
Yeah, that one was in the packet.
I'll make a motion then to approve the beverage operators licenses as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is second to approve. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Agenda item number 9 is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned at 5:43.